Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 13 of KSP Career Mode. Today, we're going to do some shopping. Boom! We now have docking ports. Oh, the possibilities. Okay, we're back, and I have just created a very simple space station crew module. So we're going to take this thing up into a probably 200k orbit, and then we're going to dock it with another module. I know I talked about a sorry. I know I was talking about a Minmus base last episode, but I've been looking and our technology is nowhere near ready for that. So, sorry about that, cough, cold, but yeah, so we are ready for a, let me just test these solar panels, we are ready for a space station, that's the word, and we've got lights, which are very good. And it's got RCS, and hopefully this will work, because as we all know, I don't test things in this in this series. So hopefully everything will go to plan. But let's find out in 3, 2, 1. Boom! Flying straight. I have added some winglets on this design just because it's a little bit top heavy, and I don't want it to be flipping around in the lower atmosphere, just because while the force is acting on it. You can see, don't look, it will eat you. That is a tradition, and still, we need to do something about that debris. Maybe even build a boat or something, but that's gonna have to wait, because today, oh today, we are building a space station. Or at least, starting a space station. This looks like it's going fine, and we don't want to set on fire like the other time, so I'm going to actually throttle back slightly to 1G. Slightly over 1G even, because we are still going straight up. And beginning the turn at 10 kilometers. Now, again, because I don't have thrust vectoring, it's a little bit slow to turn. And sorry about my voice if it sounds weird, that's just, again, because of my ailments. Boom! Are we okay? Okay, we look fine. Let's keep going. Mission control says go. And let's complete the throttling up. All is well so far. Anyway. Beep. 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 A solitary light in the night sky. Now, again, this is unmanned. Well, not again, but this is unmanned. Pretend like you've heard it before. This is an unmanned craft. Everyone's like, oh, I know this. Just because it's a crew module, and I don't want to be taking people up to the space station in the crew module, because that seems a little bit, unprofessional, in my mind. Just, you know, we'll take you up in the space station, but you gotta wait in the hatch. That's designed for weightlessness. Slowly gaining speed. This is nothing. This is nowhere near as quick as a Minmus craft, which just accelerates like nothing else, just because of its massive lifting stage. We're dealing with a bit more economic processes of getting into space today, but it works, and it's a bit cheaper anyway, so why not use it? Oh, also, while I'm talking, which we've got Kirk Kerman in orbit, and we do need to rescue him, so perhaps that can tie in with the space station somehow, but I'm not sure how, so maybe I'll think of a storyline. We've got like a gyroscope looking thing here. We are going pretty shallowly. We have a very shallow trajectory, and we're going to get this up to about 200 kilometers. Oh. Out of fuel in that stage. Ooh. I think we may as well flatten out, just so we can always be... It's the most efficient way to go. Just in the same way that suicide burns are, in that you're not cancelling out the gravitational force. You're in fact utilizing the gravitational field strength of Kerbol instead of fighting it. And that's why burning laterally is more efficient. You know, we might even want to go into a 100k orbit. That's looking pretty nice. And... thinking about it, because we're going to be using this as a fuel depot as well. depot. We're going to be using this as a fuel depot for our spacecraft that are hopefully going to be embarking on interplanetary missions soon. And I don't know whether we should put it higher or if we should. I'm going to say that we should keep it low. We can always, you know, boost it into a higher orbit using like a transfer. But I think. Oh, let's open the solar panels. I think that it would be wiser to bring it into a smaller orbit just because we won't have to boost the whole craft further that needs to be refueled, so we can refuel a smaller craft and therefore cheaper, more efficient and everything. If you go into KSP's, oh yeah, that's nice actually. If you do go into KSP's website soon, you will see the new trailer for the next version, and holy crap, it looks amazing. I cannot wait. It's called the Economic Boom Update, and spoilers, but I'm not going to tell you, but you should go and check it out. It's amazing. It looks. I think they've added a new cockpit, but I'm not entirely sure if that's mods or anything. But whatever it is, it looks amazing. Okay, just begin to burn slightly early. Just, you know. We also do have RCS in case we need to do some tricky maneuvering in space. I hate that word, maneuver. It doesn't sound like it's a word. If anyone agrees with this very strange hatred, then tell me, because it's probably just you and me. Halfway through our burn now, and there are 30 seconds left. Looking fine for fuel, and you can see I've got a docking port on this end and that end, because we're eventually going to have a hub, say here, where different things will jut off. But for now, we don't actually have that part. But I know it's the Rockamax, like, multi-hub Partotron 9000. But we don't have that part right now, so I've just left docking port ready so we can connect it onto that part. And here we go. And the reveal. 102 by 112, that's okay, we can adjust that. We are good for electric charge, that's great. And this thing turns like a snail that doesn't turn at all. Oh my god, you'd think. Oh wait, we can always do that, but that's wasting fuel. Let's just do a slight adjustment now. 112 by 112. Okay, yeah, that I am happy with. Great. And we're going to keep the fuel on there now. Don't need that light. We're going to keep the fuel on there. Just, oh my goodness, I really should. We're going to put an RCS module on the next module we put on, because holy crap, that is very stubborn. But yeah, that is the first section there. We are back, and I have recently, as in the last 10 minutes, built a crew shuttle, and it will be taking Bob Kerman, the first man to visit the space station, which, by the way, needs a name. If you would like to submit a name, just write it in the comments. Yeah, so the best name, if the name that I judge to be the best, I will use for the station, and that will be the name of the station indefinitely. There we are. Okay, so there is a trick for getting these docks, and oh my god, my voice. It is something at 100 kilometers, which ours pretty much is. You should wait until it's at the tip of the island, where there's the gap between this continent and the continent west of it. You want to wait until it's the very tip of that peninsula, and then that's when we launch. So. And of course, I'm going to let it do a couple of orbits, just because it's in such a low orbit, and we don't really want to be launching at night, do we? No. So, as it makes its way around, and boom. Yeah, this orbit is very quick. It's going massively fast. Throttling up, and SAS on kaplooey, and this is a lot lighter than the module we just launched, so it should be a bit quicker. So we're using the same lifting stage as for the station, and it's called the Skipper lifting stage, just because it's based off Little Skippy, as well, that's the first orbiter that we had. Don't look, it will eat you. Yeah, so plus it sounds kind of cool. A little skipper. Sounds a little bit fisherman-y though. We might have to rename that again. If you would like to submit a name for the skipper lifting engine, line up for the name giving. Okay, so you may be wondering why I've still not included an SAS module in the orbiter, and that's just because this is so much smaller. It won't make a difference. I know a few of you who actually noticed will be going like, "You idiot! You've been like, oh wow, what a problem! Holy crap, that is a little bit terrifying when it does that." Yeah, see, that's the one that blew up. You can see because those two are evenly spaced, and that's interesting. You can see stupid caller. Wow, the nerve of them. Sorry about that. But well, where was I? God, he distracted me, and now I've lost my train of thought. How thoughtful. I'm gonna tell them that after this. But oh my God, Jesus, really? I mean, God damn it. Sorry. I'm gonna have to talk to them about that after this. Bringing up periaps up, and you'll see a rendezvous or an intersect marker appear. There we are. 60. We can get that smaller. 50, 40, 30, 20. And what we're basically going to be doing is, because you can tell, what you can see is this intersect is going to be very close. However, our velocities are going to be quite different once we actually reach each other. So when we're 5 kilometers away, I'll be in a suborbital trajectory and he'll be in an orbital trajectory, which means I'm going to have to do a very quick burn just to kick myself into orbit. No. Yeah, so, and plus I've got to adjust this and bring that like that and adjust it again. Just it's a little bit fiddly now because we're not burning at our apoaps. It's going to be a little bit uneven. So you still don't actually have a periaps. That would be nice to have. And you'll see that our second, there we go, I will adjust as necessary. But yeah, that's basically that. And here we go. So it's a 1148.1 meters per second burn, and it'll take 40 seconds there and about, and we really should do the burn now. But yeah, so the way this is going to work is, you see, I'm catching, that station is catching up on me very quickly, and that's because he's going so much quicker than I am because he's in a full orbit and I'm not, and so I've got to catch up to him now. He's drifting away at 500 meters per second, so quite quickly, but we'll catch him in a minute. Now he's down to 300 meters per second relative. I've got it up in my HUD. 150, 100, and then once we get to around the same velocity as him, we're going to manually do this. Can I? Alright, I'm going to make some small adjustments here. Be 94, we'll go to 5.0. Okay, yeah, that's the burn we're going to be doing. Just a small adjustment burn, and then we will make our way towards the station. Bob Kerman is doing exceptionally well, so commendation to him. This will be the first docking, actually, come to think of it. It's the first dock we'll have ever done, because we've never had docking ports, so that's a pretty good reason, I suppose. There we are, 3.6 kilometers. And I really need to change that into a station. I've got to do that when we get there. And yeah, see, space station. That is a crap name for a space station. I mean, as much as it does explain the nature of the beast, it's not a very imaginative way to do so. Oh, here we go. You can see that. That is the position marker. Okay. So we are drifting closer. 35 kilometers. And just drifting in We're at 99,000. Oh, just crossed the 100,000 meter border. Let's see. We are traveling over the desert. So we've nearly done an orbit. Okay. How close are we gonna get? Going to get 3.6 kilometers away. Cool. Node. Oh wow, that's actually quite a lot. Poo. We can adjust that, but 39 seconds away, 3.6 kilometers, and right. Probably do something about our velocity. So, for example, let's do that. Like so, and then I see I wish we could leave this with the station, but we actually have to in order to dock something this small reasonably, I had to put it on the docking port on the bottom, and that led to some of the design changes. And because of that, we can't actually ferry that to the station. That's a shame. And I would love to have had, because look at this fuel. At least we do know that how much fuel do we actually 35 left. So ideally we can even maybe take some fuel out of that section, you know, to make things cheaper. I don't know. Because in the end, if and when we eject it, sorry about that, then it's just fuel wasted until we can either recover it, which will cost money. And so this whole thing is just leading up to a debris belt, and that debris belt is fairly close to the station. And just thinking this through in my head, like as we speak now, I guess that's pretty good. The theory is the further away, sorry about that, the further away we do eject this thing, then sorry again, then the simpler things will be, and so we won't really have to worry about this thing hitting the station. So I'm going to make a final adjust. So that's the closest that will, if we have a look. So 1.2 kilometers. Yeah, I'm going to do something really quickly. If we set this thing and just do that, and then eject. But we'll eject in the right direction, but we don't want this thing actually getting too close because it may eventually hit. So in 3, let's point directly at the target. In 3, 2, 1, boom! Goodbye. That was 0.9 meters per second boost. That's fairly impressive. That's a pretty strong decoupler. And we are off SAS, but look again, unlike the bulky station module, which as I figured out is one of the largest things we've actually put into orbit, this is a very nimble and small craft. So we're going to test out the RCS. Yep, that works. And we're actually going to go on fine controls. Turn off the RCS. And turn on the engines. That is more than enough. Wow, that is definitely more than enough. So let's burn controlledly over to this. And it's going to be a little bit weird because we are docking this thing backwards. But no real problems anyway. If you look closer, you can kind of see a flicker. But it's very faint. And okay, we're within a kilometer. We're going to start having to look at adjustments now. A bit finer adjustments. Right. Edging closer and closer now. Within 300,000 meters? What kind of madness is this? Well, I suppose we are within 300,000 meters. Thanks, subconscious, you were right. Sorry about that whole correction trouble. And here we go. Let's thrust out of the way there for a second. Wow, that is... Because this thing, I'm forgetting how small this thing actually is. Look how effective the RCS is on this. Wow. This is on fine controls as well. Okay. Here we are. Let's get a good look at the station there. Oh. And drift into the right position. Let's control from here and do a chase cam. like so. And we'll set that as target. Okay, cool. So that actually has set our controls the right way. And it's just turning to night. There we go. Slow ourselves down a bit. And we'll even do this. Bathe it in an orange glow. And make some tiny adjustments again. Shut down this engine and that, just in case, you know. This is a nice looking station as well. And we're coming in at 48 minutes. 48 minutes and whatever that was. Ta-da! We're docked. Wow. And I do believe that we will transfer all of, or whatever that needs, because we don't need RCS to undock. And let's get this guy into the crew module. Again, guys, try and think of a name, please, because that would be amazing, and I don't want to think of one myself, because it may be really cheesy. It's going to end up being a Greek or Roman word, of course, because they sound the best. But, yeah, try and find a good one that represents our station. And we're in. Let's have a look inside, shall we? Oh. Welcome to the space station, Bob Kerman. We've got food, not food, refuse, trash, rubbish, junk, laundry, board games, toothbrushes, and science and more science there. And then we've got space, and I do think that one day we will be able to move freely in the modules like this and like go through hatches and stuff, but for now we can't. But hopefully in future versions that will be available. But for now, I've been Michael Stahl, or Turtleton King. Have fun in space, guys.